Method overloading in Java. In Java, method overloading allows different methods to have the same name, but different signatures where the signature can differ by the number of input parameters or type of input parameters, or a mixture of both. Method overloading in Java is also known as compile time polymorphism, static polymorphism, or early binding. In method overloading, compared to the parent argument, the child argument will get the highest priority. Here you can see example of method overloading in Java. So let me just copy it and paste in my editor. As you can see, there is example of Java overloading. Java program to demonstrate working of method overloading in Java. Here is we have class named by example, overloaded sum. There is sum. This sum takes two int parameters, int x and int y. And this overloaded sum takes three int parameters, as you can see, x, y, and z. And as you can see, these parameters will these three, and there is two int parameters will be added. So overloaded sum, this sum takes two double parameters. There is we change it the data type from int to double, and there is also will be adding two parameters x and y. So there is a driver code. If you can see, our first input value is 10, second is 20, and third is 30, and 4 is 20.5 and 10.5. If you can launch our code, the output will be 30, 60, and 31.0, because 10 plus 20 is 30, 10 plus 20 plus 30 is 60, and 10.5 at 20.5 is 31.0. So let's move on, and the next is different ways of method overloading in Java. There is we have three ways of method overloading in Java. First is changing the number of parameters. Second is changing data types of the arguments. And third is changing the order of the parameters of methods. First, changing the numbers of parameters. Method overloading can be achieved by changing the number of parameters while passing two different methods. So below is the implementation of the above method. Let me just copy this example and pass in my editor and changing the class to example. So Java program to illustrate method overloading by changing number of parameters. So there is you should import required classes. Class 1 is helper class, named by example. Method 1 is multiplying two integers values. We have class multiple and two integers values int by data type int a and b, and this section of code will processes multiplying of a and b. Second method is multiplying three integer values, which is we just added one value, one int c. So there is we created second class named by gfg. Main driver method is to input our input and output our methods. So there is we create object of above class inside main method. So then we have examples, OEB, new examples, and calling method to multiple two numbers, first and two, and printing a product of numbers by method outputting system on println. And there is we also calling method to multiple three numbers, ABC, and just printing product of three numbers. If you run our code, yes, as you can see, product of the two integer value is 2 because 1 multiplied 2 is 2 and product of the three integer values is 6 because 1 multiple 2 multiple 3 is 6. So that's it. So move on. As you can see, we have the same output values. So second is changing data types of arguments. In many cases, methods can be considered overloaded if they have the same name but have different parameter types. Methods are considered to be overloaded. And below is the implementation of above method. Let me just copy it. That's here. So I will just change my class to example. Some class. Yes. So as I said, is Java program to illustrate method overloading by changing the types of the parameters. Important required classes, and our first class, named by example class, is helper class. And there is we multiplying three integer values, int, as you can see, int a, int b, and int c. We just multiplying them. And second is multiplying three double values. We just change the data types from int to double. And we also call GFG class and use this to printing our values. As you can see, if I run it, so yes, as you can see, because this was values int, our outputting was 6, and there is we exchange it from int to double. Because of it, we inputted not just by 1, we used 1.0 double values, and our input output is 6.0. Yes, and that's it. So as you can see, we have the same value of outputting. Third and last is changing the order of parameters of methods. Method overloading can also be implemented by re-arguing the parameters of two or more overloaded methods. For example, if the parameters of method 1 are string name, int role no, and the other method is int role no, string name, but both have the same name, then these two methods are considered to be overloaded with different sequences of parameters. So there is we have example. Let's copy it and pass here and just changing name of class to examples. So it's our third example of method overloading by changing the orders of the parameters. So first class, helper class, we have system out println method to outputting name and role no values. We have second method, again printing the name and ID of person, the same thing that was there. And the main class is GFG. We just create an object of above class and passing name and ID and in reversing order. So it's our the name is spider and the ID Yes, the second name is Camlish. So let's just run it. As you can see, you have name. The value of name is, as you can see, name is spider plus role no, ID 1, because our, yes, as you can see, there is our ID is equal to 1. So second is we have role no, second name Camlish. Yes, we just changed order of parameters because there is, we have, for example, name first, but in this case name is come by second order. So as you can see, we have the same values. So what if the access prototype does not match with arguments? So in this case we have priority wise, the compiler takes these steps. First is type conversation, but to higher type in terms of range in the same family. And second is type conversion to the next higher family. Suppose if there is no long date type available for int data type, then it will search for the float data type. As you can see, small size data type to high size data type conversion is possible. Yes, as you can see, small size data type is byte and high size data type is object. As you can see, byte to short, character to integer, integer to long, long to float, float to double, double to object. Yes. Let's discuss about advantages of method overloading. Whereas we have 5 advantages of this method. First is method overloading improves the readability and resolvability of the program. Second is method overloading reduces the complexity of the program. Using method overloading, programmers can perform a task efficiently and effectively. Using method overloading, it's possible to access methods performing a related function with slightly different arguments and types. And last is objects of a class can be also initialized in different ways using the constructor. Yes, this is end of our section named by method overloading in Java. So let's go ahead and let's discuss about Java constructors in Java.